This happened a few summers back in a quiet suburban neighborhood. Picture big houses, quiet streets, and a feeling of safety like nothing could go wrong. But on this particular night, everything changed. Leo and Max were the kind of guys who always seemed to find trouble. They lived on the same street and spent most afternoons after school causing mischief. With not much excitement in the neighborhood, they often made their fun, which sometimes led to trouble. At the top of a hill in their neighborhood stood an old abandoned mansion next to a huge cemetery. This place had been empty for ages. It wasn't anything special. All the kids in town had explored it. The mansion's rooms were stripped bare and covered in graffiti. For Leo and Max, it was their go-to spot when boredom struck. They'd spray graffiti, hang out on the roof, or just mess around. One night, around 3 a.m. on a Wednesday, Leo and Max found themselves with nothing to do after some girls canceled their plans. Feeling a bit drunk and disappointed, they decided to head up to the cemetery mansion. They figured throwing rocks at the place would be a good way to blow off steam. Against better judgment, Leo convinced Max to walk there since they were too drunk to drive. After a 20-minute walk, they reached the mansion. It looked more sinister than usual, with vines crawling up the walls and broken windows glaring down at them. Max didn't hesitate. He picked up a stone and hurled it at the mansion, shattering a fourth-floor window. The sound of breaking glass echoed in the still night. Leo followed suit, breaking a second-floor window. Then Max challenged Leo to hit the attic window, a small lonely square at the top of the house. Leo missed throw after throw, but Max with a confident grin took his shot. The rock flew through the air and smashed the attic window. As they admired Max's perfect throw, something unexpected happened. A rock flew out of the attic window, landing right in front of them. It was the same rocks Max had thrown, easily identifiable by a Z-shaped mark on it. The two friends stared in shock, feeling a mix of fear and confusion. They thought maybe other kids were inside messing with them. Excited by the idea of confronting these kids, they decided to go inside. Quietly, they made their way to the front door, which was always slightly open. Inside, the mansion smelled of mildew and decay. They crept up the creaky stairs, trying to be as silent as possible. But the old wood betrayed them with every step. On the fourth floor, they found the final staircase leading to the attic, a place they'd never explored before. Max took the lead and Leo followed closely. At the top of the stairs was a small wooden door. Max opened it and a foul smell hit them like a punch in the face. Rotten food, mildew, sulfur, and something that smelled like death. Covering their noses, they stepped into the dark room. Moonlight filtered through the broken window, casting eerie shadows. Wooden crates lined the walls, and the wood looked rotten. In the dim light, Leo noticed a figure standing in the corner. At first, he thought it was a person, but as his eyes adjusted, he realized the features were all wrong. It looked almost human, but not quite. Before Leo could warn Max, the figure let out a low guttural moan, a sound that seemed to come from damaged vocal cords. They screamed and bolted down the stairs, hearts pounding. The moans followed them, echoing through the mansion. They didn't stop running until they were back at Leo's house, slamming the door behind them. To this day, Leo and Max have never gone back to that cemetery mansion. The memory of that night, especially the figure in the attic and those haunting moans, still terrifies them. Sometimes, Leo dreams about being chased by those sounds through a long dark hallway, but he always wakes up before anything worse happens. One thing's for sure, they'll never go back to that mansion again. It all happened at a place everyone called the Ghost House in Baguio City in the Philippines. The house was never finished and had been sitting empty for years. It was on a creepy street with many houses that looked abandoned or run down, with overgrown yards and weeds everywhere. One late night, Raph and his friends, Mia, Ben, and Zoe, were bored and driving around town after getting some fast food. Out of nowhere, Ben suggested, "Hey, why don't we check out the ghost house?" It sounded like a bad idea, but everyone was curious and excited about doing something daring. They parked a few houses away from the ghost house. This street had only one street light, and the rest of it was dark. Most of the houses had no lights on, making it even creepier. They quietly got out of the car and walked over to the ghost house. Its unfinished two-story structure looked really spooky in the night. The first challenge was getting inside. The front door was locked, so they tried every window until one of them slid open. Mia, being the smallest, climbed through the window and unlocked the back door from the inside. But to their surprise, the door was already unlocked. This gave them an uneasy feeling, knowing everyone could have been inside. They stepped into the house. A strong, awful smell hit them. It smelled like a mix of rotting wood and cat pee. The first floor was bigger than they expected, with lots of empty rooms. They decided to split up to explore, something you always see in horror movies and think, bad idea. Raph went upstairs, curious to see what was there. The second floor was less finished, with lots of exposed wooden frames and debris. Hearing his friends making noise downstairs, Raph decided to go back down and see what they were up to. He bumped into Mia, who was curious about the upstairs. After a quick chat, Raph went to look for the basement. He found the basement door under the stairs. When he opened it, the smell got worse. He walked down the steps and saw the basement was in terrible shape. The concrete floor had strange brownish stains. Raph wondered if it was a paint or something worse. In one corner, he saw a small wooden chair and a table with a Bible on it. That's when he felt really scared. He heard footsteps coming down the stairs. "Hey, come check this out," he called out quietly. When no one answered, he turned around and saw no one. "Who's there?" he asked, his voice shaking. Suddenly, he noticed a woman with long, messy hair sitting against the wall, staring at him. She wasn't Mia or Zoe, she was a stranger. Just then, a loud scream came from upstairs, followed by Ben shouting, "Raph, let's get out of here." Raph didn't need any more convincing. He ran up the stairs as fast as he could. He saw his friends already running out the back door and quickly followed them. They all jumped into the car and drove away as fast as they could. Once they were a safe distance away, Raph asked, "What did you guys see?" Everyone was talking at once, but finally, they explained. Ben and the girls had seen two men standing in one of the first floor rooms. They couldn't see their faces but could tell they were men. The room had some dark objects on the floor, but they didn't stick around long enough to figure out what they were. Raph and his friends never went back to the ghost house. That night left them all scared and confused, wondering if they had interrupted something sinister or just stumbled upon homeless people trying to stay out of the cold. Whatever it was, Raph decided he would never return to that creepy street. How would you react if you came across an abandoned mansion at night? Let us know what you think in the comments section below. And if you have had any scary encounters, share your experiences with us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to FearFlex for more videos like this. Thanks for watching and see you at the next one.